The Cardinals dropped their first conference game since 2009 as the Little Brass Bell heads to Wheaton following a 35-21 loss to the Thunder. But the Cardinals still have a shot at making the playoffs as they head into their final game of the regular season. We take a look at how the team hopes to respond after the defeat right now on the Red Zone. Welcome to the Red Zone. I'm Mark DAHLQUIST. With me to start things off is head coach for the Cardinals, John Thorne. Coach, thanks so much for coming in.
Well, it's good to be here, but I wished we were going to talk about a better result from last Saturday.
Yeah, Coach, that was a tough one for the Cardinals as you guys fall to the Thunder and the first conference loss for the first time since 2009. I mean, what was the feeling after that one in the locker room?
Well, you know, everybody was down, and it just was one of those games very similar to our first game of the year where the offensive side could not hang on to the football. They had way too many turnovers. But this one was different also because on the defensive side, we kind of went back to what happened last year in both of our losses. The second half, we just couldn't get off the field. Mm-hmm. You know, we couldn't get that third down play to kill a drive. You know, they had some very long drives. So Wheaton's game plan was very solid, very good. Their players executed extremely well, and their contact level was really high. They were really fired up to play us. So you know, our hats off to them for playing a great game. I mean, they just totally outplayed us on all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams.
Well, the Cardinals lost the Little Brass Bell for the first time since 2007 in a hard-fought battle. Let's go to the highlight. Nick Kukoc and the seniors honored before the final home game of the regular season. They get set to face off against Jordan Roberts and the Wheaton College Thunder. In the red zone, Roberts would call his own number looking for the end zone, but Josh Mitchell denies the rushing touchdown. That wouldn't stop Roberts from not letting this drive go to waste as he hits Steven Seitz in the flat, and the Thunder jump out to a 7-0 lead. In the second quarter, the Thunder are threatening again, but the Cardinals jump the route and the ball bounces into the hands of Joey Michaels. He returns it to the Thunder 33-yard line, and that leads to a Cardinal touchdown. The Thunder respond with 5.5 left in the half as Roberts looking long and going long. Cook hauls in the 61-yard touchdown grab to put Wheaton back in front before halftime. Cardinals make a trip to the red zone themselves, but as STANEK fires to Peter Sorensen, the ball pops out and they call it a catch and fumble, and the Thunder ruin a scoring chance. Now facing a fourth down, the Thunder pulling out all the tricks as Peter Jarrett takes the direct snap and he plows his way to a first down. Roberts hurting the Cardinals with his legs as much as his arm in this one, as he is patient behind his blockers before diving his way to his second rushing touchdown and a 28-7 Thunder lead. Playing from behind in the fourth quarter, the Cardinals going for it all as STANEK throws a beauty to Juliano Fuentes, and the 47-yard strike makes it 28-14. Cardinals get the ball back, and STANEK steps up in the pocket. Jared Todd forces the fumble. It's picked up by Adam Dansdale, and there's nothing but green in front of him. He returns it 72 yards for the score to secure the victory, and the Thunder hand the Cardinals their first conference loss since 2009 with a 35-21 win. Coach, you mentioned it was hard for your defense to get off the field. I mean, Wheaton really dominated the time of possession. What do you think they were doing so well that they were just able to constantly move the ball?
Well, they protected their quarterback pretty well, you know, and they've got two huge receivers. Mm-hmm. And if you give them that much time to move around, they're going to, you know, find some green grass. And we made some mistakes. You know, we left some stuff completely uncovered once in a while. And the quarterback just got in a great rhythm with his receivers, you know, and they caught some, actually some balls were kind of tough to catch, and they held on to them. So they really played well. And when a team gets in a rhythm like that, sometimes it's really hard to to get it stopped. But we've got to start figuring out some ways to do that. You know, it's we're not losing very often, but when we're losing, we're always a little frustrated at how we ended up losing it. Right. So now, you know, as the head coach, it's my job trying to figure out ways to avoid those situations again. So, you know, I really failed the team this last week, and hopefully I'll do my job better next week, and we'll get the 7th conference title in a row and not let that part slip away.
Yeah, the conference title, you guys still have a chance for that. But going back to those receivers, Morgan Cook and Mark Hibben combined for over 300 yards receiving. I mean, it's tough when a team has one good wide receiver. It had to have been difficult when Wheaton really had 2 guys that they could go to at any time.
Well, and they as we tried to pick up the pressure, they threw some really nicely designed screen passes and got some great yardage there. And even in the second half, they're not a team that runs the ball that well, but they got some really good runs out of their running back. And so, I mean, once you get that momentum going in your direction, a lot of good things can happen, you know. And every time we would try and steal the momentum back, the very next possession or the very next play sometimes, we would give the momentum right back to them because we would, you know, drop a ball and they'd recover a fumble or whatever. So it was a very frustrating game, I know, for the players and the coaches, and so we're working very hard to try and get back to Cardinal football this weekend.
Yeah, it's always tough whenever you lose a fumble, but it makes the game even tougher when the Thunder can pick one up and they return it for a score like they did with Dansville in that 4th quarter.
That was a great play. You know, we have got to be more secure with the ball, especially at our quarterback position. You know, Spencer's fingers are very small, and so we need to do a great job with our offensive linemen of keeping that pocket clean and letting him get the ball out, because he had a great day. I mean, he threw for 65% completion, and we really didn't get stopped by Wheaton very often at all. We stopped.
You stopped yourselves
almost by not hanging on to the football, you know. And you know, you can say they knocked it out, but when you look back at the film and stuff, it was just they were just tackling hard. They weren't really stripping the ball and doing those kinds of things. Right. I mean, those plays we're supposed to hang on to the ball and hopefully next Saturday and maybe on into the playoffs, we'll do a better job of doing that.
Well, we hope to see you guys being able to hold on to that ball a little bit more. Don't go anywhere, because we continue to break down the Cardinals with Coach Thorne right after this.
Yes, ready. Let's go get it. Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Welcome back to the Red Zone. With us still is head coach for the Cardinals, John Thorne. Coach, so we touched on it a little bit. The season's not over yet. You guys, you got to head to Augustana this weekend, and the team's really somehow still has a chance for their 7th CCIW title.
You know, that's a great thing. I'm really happy for our seniors and the whole program, but especially the seniors, that this opportunity is still sitting right there, you know, within their grasp. Wheaton College won 7 in a row, but all the way back in the 1950s. And then, of course, Augustana won 8 in a row in the 80s. So that's pretty rare company to be a part of the history of this conference. But we got to finish the deal,
right?
You know, and it's not done yet. So it's going to be an exciting game on Saturday. I'm sure Augustana's going to show up very, very fired up and ready to play.
Well, despite the loss, the team still has a shot at securing the CCIW's automatic bid to the playoffs, thanks to the tiebreaker rule. We take a look at what needs to happen this weekend in this week's Cardinal Corner. When Wheaton College claimed the Little Brass Bell against the Cardinals on Saturday, It created a three-way tie going into the final game of the regular season between the Cardinals, Thunder, and the Blue Jays of Elmhurst College. If all three teams win their respective games this weekend, they will be named tri-champions. But the CCIW's automatic bid to the NCAA Division III football championships will go down to a tiebreaker.
There's a couple steps to get there. First is head-to-head. Obviously, with the three teams beating each other, that kind of tosses that out the window. The next is records versus teams beneath the tie, but they've all beaten everybody beneath the tie. So the next would obviously be point differential, which is obviously the criteria that we'd be using this year to break the tie.
That means the Cardinals' final touchdown was much more than just points on the board. Had North Central not scored that TD or allowed the Thunder to score after, the team with the highest point differential would have been Wheaton College.
It was pretty crazy, telling us that we needed to score and we're on the 2-yard line. So, I think we just, as an offense, really got together and focused on. I was like, guys, we need to go down the field and score if we want to still go to the playoffs.
Rare as it may seem, this scenario has happened in the past, as recently as 2006. But the Cardinals were able to get into the playoffs that year with an at-large bid. The chances of that happening this year are almost zero. So not only will the Cardinals have to come away with the win on Saturday, but they will be pulling for the Blue Jays to come away victorious as well.
So, Coach, did you guys as a coaching staff know about the tiebreaker rule as the game was going on, and how did it change the way you sort of coached the game?
Well, absolutely. Coach Jeff and Coach Ponks were both coming over and talking to me about it. We knew late in the game that it was going to be hard to chase the 3-touchdown lead. Even chasing the 2-touchdown lead was tough enough the way we were playing. But we got a terrible kickoff return. The ball's on the 2-yard line. Actually, It probably wasn't even the 2-yard line. And so we have 98 yards. We have to score, or we don't have the tiebreaker for a 3-way tie. And so I think the players started to understand that also. Definitely the coaches, everything we were doing during that final drive was to make sure that we got down there and got points. And then we didn't do an onside kick on purpose because it's still a 2-touchdown game.
Right.
If they're keeping track, they should have come out and tried to go and score. So we thought, well, let's kick it deep, try and tackle them back there, and maybe they'll gamble and we'll pick one off. And if we run it back, now you do the onside kick, because you still needed 2 scores. And getting 2 onside kicks in a row is hard anyway. So they took the air right out of the football. They just stopped.
They must have not known the rules like you guys did on your sideline, but what does that say about your team to actually know that their backs are against the wall? They're probably going to lose this game, but in order to make the playoffs, they got to go down and score, and they were able to do it with a 98-yard drive.
Yeah, well, we told the players on Monday, if you finish the deal at Augustana, and if Elmhurst does give us a little bit of help, so it is that 3-way tie, then that drive, people are going to talk about that drive for 50 years maybe. It was because who knows what's going to happen if we do go to the playoffs. Maybe we'll catch on fire again and start playing great football and get on a bit of a run. So it was that was the best thing we could take out of that game, and the guys did it. And so we were very, very pleased with the way they executed that drive.
And the thing that's been working for you guys so much this year is your run game. And it seemed like you guys were having some difficulty getting it going against the Thunder.
We had some blocking mistakes at the line of scrimmage, and we're not sure why. It was just one of those days where some of the guys weren't thinking that it didn't make sense to them. The concept, we practiced it all week, it made sense during the week, but all of a sudden, in the excitement of the game, things are spinning in their head and they're going completely the wrong direction. We really thought we were going to be able to run the ball extremely well. In the very first play, we gained like 9 yards, but we fumbled.
Right.
So we could have run it, but once we're chasing so many points, we felt like, hey, we're more in a 2-minute thing. We need to score as fast as we can, hope we get a stop on defense, score, because we're chasing 2 and 3 touchdowns right away at the very beginning of the third quarter.
Well, hopefully you guys can get things back together against Augustana. Best of luck against the Vikings, Coach.
Thanks a lot. We're very excited to go out to Augustana and try to win a football game. It's hard to win on the road, so we're going to have to play really well.
Yeah, you guys, hopefully we'll wish you the best of luck here from the Red Zone. Keep it right here, because after the break, we'll sit down with 2 Cardinals that hope to put the team back in the win column. We'll be right back.